Hi guys, I'm Anissa and I'm back with another video. Today it's time for another Monday Reads. Monday Reads is about what I finished last week. Did I meet my own goals? What am I currently reading? And what are my plans for next week? And last week, if you don't remember, I tried something new when I planned my reading and the majority of that went pretty well. But let's get into my statistics from last week. First thing first. I set myself the goal of reading 1,734 pages with an average of 247 pages per day. That was my overall arching goal if I was to finish everything that was on my TBR for the week. However, I had some sub-goals that were more prominent. Last week I managed to read a total of 1,354 pages with an average of 193 pages per day. So I'm a little low on compared to my goals, but my sub goals, if you remember, was to finish like 6 books and maybe make progress in some other books, and those are what made the jump. And I ended up finishing 4 of the 6 books that was my primary goals, so I'm okay with that. I didn't quite meet all of my sub goals, and one of the reasons was because yesterday on Sunday I spent the majority of the day at the zoo with my family, which I had forgotten when I was planning my reading last week, so I didn't have that day of reading. Otherwise I most definitely would have ended up finishing the last things. I'm pretty sure I would. But let's get into the things that I did finish and then go into what I made progress on and almost finished and my plans for this next week. The first thing that I finished last week was Keep Her Safe by Sophie Hannah. This is a book that I read for my Exploring the Genre series TBR thing I'm doing, where I read mystery books at the moment, and I never really got into this one. I didn't really enjoy it. It was not my kind of book. I don't even know what to say about it. It was it followed someone who lost her sister and not really sure if her parents really liked her, and I don't know, I never got into this mystery at all. I didn't like the writing style. I didn't think it was very engaging, and so I ended up giving this 2 out of 5 stars actually, which was pretty low. So my track record with the mystery books on this list so far has not been very great, so I hope that it will change soon because I'm really getting tired of reading from this list. I am so looking forward to jump into another genre soon because this has definitely not been the best. The next thing that I finished was Fruits Basket Volume 8 by Natsuki Takaya. This is a series that follows this family that has a sort of curse surrounding them, that they turn into specific zodiac animals if they are touched with affection or something. And we keep being introduced to new characters in every book, I guess, and some new part of the family shows up that's part of this curse. I think my main issue with this one was that I didn't feel like it did very much. I didn't think it got very anywhere. I think some of the characters are just a little underdeveloped, I guess. But I did enjoy it for the most part, and I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing, but it was not my favorite volume from the series. The next thing that I finally finished was Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a book that is nominated in the BookTube SFF Award. I worked on it in the majority of May and really enjoyed it. It is a book that follows Sanxia. Sanxia is living in this city called Foundry, and it is basically a world that is factioned into these different families that are trying to take over the city, and the magic system is difficult to explain, but it's something to do with scribing different things into believing it is something and do something, and so it uses science in a way to make this magic system work. And I thought that was really interesting and very fresh and new. I don't think I've ever read anything that had a magic system quite like this. Sanxia has a unique ability to be able to sense scribed elements of what they think, what they feel, so she can touch the thing and she can feel what they're feeling. And so she is a thief. She's basically working for another person to steal this thing that turns out to be a key. And this sets off this specific book because everyone suddenly wants to get their hands on this key and wants to destroy anyone surrounding it. So in that way, it was a bit cliche, but I really enjoyed all of the characters. They were very unique. I think Sanctuary was probably the most cliche of the characters, in my opinion. But I loved the magic system so much. It was so refreshing, and yeah, highly recommend this. This is definitely... I can't wait for the release. I think it's coming out, the next one is coming out next year, and that's like way too long until that comes out. But I'm definitely a lot more eager to try out his City of Stairs series right now, because this writing was incredible and the world building was incredible, and I really admire that. So very much looking forward to reading that series as well sometime. Hopefully I'll be able to start that this year as well. The last and final thing that I finished last week was Lies, Damn Lies and History by Jodi Taylor. I actually finished this yesterday as I drove home from my parents after having spent the day with them. I had like 3 minutes left or something, so I just had to finish that last little bit on my way home. And I really enjoyed this one as usual. They are so much fun, and in this one our main character was pregnant, and so that definitely gave her some challenges in her work as traveling in time and stuff. But I really enjoyed this. It was interesting and, as usual, a lot of fun. Yeah, it has a lot of great things, I think. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's just so comforting to read these, and I know I'm always in for a treat when I read them. So those are the things that I finished last week. Let's get over the things that I worked on and almost finished last week as well. The first thing that I was really close to finishing is The Magician by Raymond E. Feist, or really close. I have 3 hours left, just under 3 hours left of the audio, so this means I am around here. It is very dense, this book, like in the writing. It has very, very small text, as you can see. So there's a lot of writing on each page, and like if I listen to an hour, I'm probably getting through like 40 pages. And for an audiobook listening, that's very, very low. So that's why it takes so much time to get anywhere. However, I am very much enjoying it. It's definitely very interesting. It's unique. I thought it was just going to be like classic fantasy tropes and all of that. And it does have all of those things like dwarves and all of these magical beings that are from the Tolkien universe, for instance. However, they are doing it in a different way, I guess, and they have an alien species coming in and they're trying to figure out what to do about it. So it has a lot of political intrigue, I guess, and I thought that was really interesting, and I can't wait to finish it. It's definitely very enjoyable. The other thing that I worked on all week and almost finished, I had like 50 pages left when I finished this week, and I actually at this point in time on Monday when I filmed this have finished it. So yeah, it is Hot in Hellcat Canyon by Julie Ann Long. This one is a small town set adult contemporary romance. I ended up really enjoying this one. I'm going to talk a lot more about this next week because I didn't finish it until today. But this has been a lot of fun reading it. So yeah, that is one I was really close to finishing, and I literally could not stay awake any longer yesterday when I stopped reading it, because I really tried to finish it yesterday, but I didn't manage to. So I finished it this morning instead. Since I have this day off, I decided today is a good day of like catching up to those things that I didn't finish last week. Okay, I'm gonna get into my actual plans in a bit. I'm just gonna mention my numbers first this time around, because I have some specific goals, overarching goals again, as I did last week, and I thought it was a better way of explaining it. But in total, for next week's reading, I have put down to read 2,226 pages, with an average of 318 pages per day, which is a lot. But some of these books are only on here for me to make progress on. So I don't think I'm gonna read all of the pages, but they're on there because I want to start them or make progress on them. So first things first, let's get into the things that I am planning on finishing, like books that I have started, but I'm planning on finishing them this week. I've already talked about 2 of them. The first one is Hot in Hellcat Canyon by Julie Ann Long, and the other one was The Magician by Raymond E. Feist. Those 2 books are primary focus reads that I want to finish this week. The last and final primary focus for this week of my already started books is definitely going to be The Old Wizard, or Gamle Troldmand by David Eddings, which is book 2, or part 2 of book 1 of Porn Prophecy, like the Bulgaria trilogy. Yeah, I still have 129 pages of this, so I'm hoping to definitely make a good amount of progress on this actually today. So that is definitely high on my priority list as well. I actually decided this week that I'm going to be focusing a lot on my library books. Obviously also some new books for my TBR so I can keep up with them a little bit, but I have quite a lot of library books checked out, so I'm definitely going to be making progress on them. So these next books are books that I want to start and finish this week, and I have 4 of those. The first book that I want to start and finish next week is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. This is my audiobook priority of the week, like at work priority. I'm gonna start it on tomorrow and work my way through it. The next 2 things I'm going to be working on are my children's books of the week. They're easier reads, I guess you can say. The first one is Ottoline and the Yellow Cat, also known as Ottoline and Den Gule Cat, which is the Danish translated edition by Chris Riddell. I saw this second book at the library last week when I went in, and it just captured my eye, so I decided to bring the second one home, and then realized it was the second one, so I had to put a hold on this one so I could grab this, so pick this up on Saturday. But this is going to be my first read, and it's going to be such a quick read, so that's why I decided I could put this on for my reading in the evenings before bed probably, and I could probably pretty easily fit this in. 171 pages, but the majority of it has big like illustrations by Chris Riddell, and I thought that was a super fun thing. And it is definitely children's books, but sometimes that's really nice to read over the week as well. The next thing that I have put on my list to read over the week and finish also is another audio that I'm going to work on, but that is also a library book, and that is Heksejægerens Lærling by Joseph Delaney, or this is also known as The Spook's Apprentice is the original title. And this is as the start of a pretty long series by Joseph Delaney that I've heard very excellent things about. So I'm really looking forward to getting through this. This is only 6 hours long in the full-time audio, so it's like 3 hours of audio over the week that I can listen to as a cook over the week. So I'm definitely pretty sure I will be able to finish this one. So very much looking forward to see what this is about. Last and final book that I want to start and finish, is The Hands of Oberon by Roger Zelazny. This is book 4 in the Amber Chronicles. This is a group body read thing that I'm doing with Rare from the Book Finch, Linnea from Robert Maria Reviews, and Katie from Katie Cat Books. Those 3 ladies have been reading this with me, and I know that Katie has already started on the 4th book, so I'm definitely going to be trying to catch up this week and finish it. And it's only 188 pages, so it's not going to be difficult for me to actually read all of it. So that is why I put this one on my reading. It will probably be my evening reads that I read in my living room, because this is heavy. I don't want to carry it around too much, and so it's a nice thing to sit and read on my couch. So that would be my couch reading, if you will. So that is the last priority finisher thing I have. Then I have my books that I want to make progress on or start on. And the first one I want to start on is the next audio that I'll start after Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, and that is going to be My Very 90s Romance by Janet Colgan. This is part of my June TBR, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this. This is for my romance book bingo as well, so I'm definitely planning on trying to get through that one as much as I can over the week, but I don't know when I'll finish Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, probably around Wednesday, maybe Thursday. So I know I probably won't finish all of Very 90s Romance. So it could be that I only have Friday to listen to that. So it depends a lot. The ebook that I have on my list, if I feel like I need to read something on ebook, if I'm finished all of the other things and I need something to read, then I have put down to read Speak No Evil by Alison Brennan. This I started last month, but I have to finish this so I can work on the next one, because that one is part of my bingo TBR, so I definitely want to try and see if I can finish this book. It was pretty fast paced when I read it, so I could potentially get through quite a bit, but I don't know. But there's quite a lot of pages left. I think I have almost 350 pages left or something, so very far to go still. The last and final thing that I have put on my list to work on over the week is Full Metal Alchemist Volume 10. I have collected the next 3 volumes in this series and I love them, so I decided to add this to my reading of the graphical art thing that I'm going to be reading from this week, and very much looking forward to read on. And that is what makes up my TBR for next week. It's quite large, but I have a lot of things to work on and I'm really looking forward to it. And since a lot of the books that I put on my list are going to be very easy reads because they're children's books, that takes off a lot of the pressure for me, even though is a large amount of books. But in total, for my priority reads, I have to listen to 1 hour and 42 minutes, so that's not very much over a day. And in order to finish all of my read pages, I have to read 544 pages, and that is about 78 pages per day. But as I said, some of those books that I'm going to be reading from are children's books, so they take up no time at all to read. So yeah, those are my plans for next week. Definitely let me know in comments down below what you've been working on over the last week. Did you finish anything great? Have you read any of the books that I've been reading, and what were your thoughts on them? Also let me know if you have any exciting plans for your reading over the next week and what you're reading. I would always like to know that. And yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye!